We have some familiar faces and obviously some new faces too, so thank you for coming out. Can I get a couple hands for the new people tonight, if that's all right with you? Okay. All right. Great, yeah. And who's our youngest new person tonight? Me. Okay. All right. Young fledgling real estate investor. So thanks for coming out. You probably found us either word of mouth or Facebook or meetup.com, and that's our main sources of reaching out to the community. So we're Tri-County Real Estate Investors, or just Tri-Counties Investors Association, and basically we started this group, for people who don't know, about 9 or 10 months ago, and we wanted a place for people in the community to come to network, to share stories, to share information, to share deals, and have a safe place to come that where we keep the membership low, and it's something that we're not selling a big gigantic coaching package to you every time you try to walk into the room. We've seen that type of organization around town and in the past, and we, I think most of us don't believe in that type of an organization. So what we are is $300 per year is the membership fee, and you get 2 events for free just to try it out, and then after that we're going to ask you to pay the $300, and that is simply a fee to help run the room, help run the event, maybe occasionally pay for a new easel or something that we need duct tape for the easel to hold up. Our entire goal is to keep everything low budget, and that's for you, that's for us. In fact, it's not you versus us. We're just here running this as a volunteer. We're not making a single dollar off of this. The advantage we get is we get to come together, hang out with like-minded people. This is our water cooler talk when we get together, and we can all share stories and share our ups and downs and our frustrations, and things don't always go as you plan. So
perfect time.
Sometimes things can be messy. But anyway, so we're here now. Obviously, you've signed in and all that. And that's Susan. She's a pivotal role to everything that's going on here. She holds it all together. I'll say that much. And then you'll get a chance to meet Mr. Santa here in a little bit, and he's been around for a long time and really holds a lot of things together too. He's very active, and anyway, so what I'll do is we'll talk about a couple of things, and do I have losing stuff here? And we're experimenting with a new microphone, so you can fill out a comment card later if you don't like it, but, and we can return it within 30 days and try another one. So, but anyway, like I said, we're keeping everything low budget, and that's just to keep your memberships low, and so that you can have a place to come to and be with like-minded people. There's other groups around town that are doing $600–700 a year, if not more, but that's where we're at. So. One thing that we do is we have this meeting, and then we have a ladies only meeting once per month as well. We have a monthly caravan tour, and we have a weekly breakfast meeting with Santa, and that was backed by popular demand. That we brought that into the mix. So what is it, 7 meetings per month? 7 meetings per month, and so anyway, the $300 per year, it's easily $300 in value for one meeting. I mean, just the information you'll get tonight is definitely over $300 value worth. Okay, so and so we're here for the education, we're here for the teamwork, and we're here to share knowledge and real estate deals. one thing that we understand with each other is that one single person can't do everything. We all bring our own expertise. Some of us are real estate agents. Some of us are contractors. Some of us are expert negotiators. Some of us are, you name it. There could be a list of about 24 to 36 qualities that you would need to be really a good real estate investor, and nobody's going to be all of those. So we share everything. And for instance, you know, if I need a good assessment on an appraisal of a house I'm looking at, I'll call one of the appraisers in our group. Things like that. So we work with a team, and we share deals together in that same regard too. So one idea we have is called share the pie. And share the pie means that you can have an entire pie, and when you go to eat that entire pie by yourself, what happens? You have a good time along the way, but in the end you're going to get yourself sick. So it's better to slice yourself off a piece, have yourself some for now, share the rest of the pieces with the group, and when it's the other people's in the group's turn to bring a pie, they get to share it with you as well. And that way we all get different flavors of pie. And we all get to share, and we don't get sick. And that's what our teamwork really is all about. And especially sharing deals. I've shared a lot of deals. Well, I've been doing this for about 6 years full time. I came 6 years ago to a breakfast meeting. I saw Mr. Santa's face on the meetup.com thing, and next thing you know, I'm doing this full time. So it's worked out really well for me. And I've shared a lot of deals with people, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without going and sharing deals, because what goes around comes around. And that's one of the benefits that we all get. Some of the more experienced people share the experience, so that the inexperienced people aren't messing things up, and the inexperienced people can bring the deals that they're working hard to find the leads and things like that. And that's just one example of a relationship. Okay, so the other thing is, when we do deals, we bring deals that we want to be open. Okay, so we want to be open-minded that everybody brings a deal, and we can help each other evaluate the deal to determine what it is, how we're making the money. And part of what we're doing tonight is creative deal making, and we're going to evaluate what can make a good deal in that type of scenario, or there's a conventional approach versus a creative approach. But we want each deal to have what's called meat on the bone. And meat on the bone means, what's the profit in the deal? If I were to go onto MLS right now and pull off 10 houses to look at and say, hey, you know, these are all market price houses, and I'm selling to them, I'm offering them to the group, and they're all retail price houses, and who wants to buy one? Okay. Well, we're a group of real estate investors, so our drive is, okay, we want to, you know, work through a deal that's going to make us money. So there's no meat on the bone. It's okay if someone brings a deal and accidentally doesn't know what it's worth and they're trying to learn. We're all about that. But at the end of the day, we want there to be meat on the bone of the deal. Just keep that in mind. It's a good concept. And if you're going to sell a deal to somebody, wholesale a deal to somebody, which a lot of people are interested in wholesaling, make sure you understand what the meat on the bone is. Whether it's a little bit or a lot or whatever, if you share a deal with somebody, you partner with the deal on somebody, know what the meat on the bone is, so you know what everybody's getting. But we like to work with deals that have meat on the bone. That's obviously what we're kind of all about. Okay, so okay. I'm reading, that's not my handwriting, so I'm trying to. Okay, so one other thing is we're all here, and we all want to build a community network. So one thing we do not tolerate, if we're going to share deals with each other, especially in an open forum like this, is snakes. Now a snake is somebody who comes along and hears you talking about a particular deal, or maybe somebody who knows a little bit more about a particular deal hears you talking about a particular address and goes to write it down, or goes to take a deal out from underneath you without your permission. That's something we do not tolerate. In the 5 or 6 years I've been here, I've probably only heard of that a couple of times happening, and I think we've had one, maybe two, 3 people. Okay, 3 people have been asked to leave an organization, not this organization, but in the past. This organization has never had a problem, but we do not tolerate snakes, not even a sniff of one, and that's the level we work on. I mean, with that being said, if you have something a lead you're working on, you don't have to share the address. You can just kind of do a one-on-one or whatever. But I share deals, address, all sorts of things all the time without having it under contract. I've never had anybody, to my knowledge, steal anything from me. I mean, you know, it's just whatever you're comfortable with. But we do not tolerate it. I don't think we'll have a problem. I don't think we've had any problems with that. So, with that being said, who's got a deal? Does anybody have a deal? Does anybody have land, house, mobile homes? We work with all those types of real estate deals. Boats on a rare occasion, cars on a rare occasion when they come along with the house, or cars, and maybe we'll have a plane one day. I don't know. So, but. Okay, Robert's got something. All right. I guess we'll just hand the mic off to you, or do you want to just go ahead and let's see how loud you can speak. How about that?
I can definitely get loud.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Robert. I'm checking the group out and actually thinking about joining, but I have a couple of deals in Walterboro. One is a double-wide mobile, 3-2, attached to the land on about 2 acres. I had a realtor friend work up the CMA on it. Came to about 60 to 65 for the property. I'm offering it at 30. It needs some love. I always ask, bring me an offer, because I can work with most things. I can also usually work out seller financing terms one way or the other. The address is 895 Buffalo Lane. Another one I'm working is 221 Hoyts Lane, also in Walterboro. There's actually 2 properties there. I'm marking it at 59. One's a block house. The other one is a mobile where a tree fell on, so the mobile needs to go. But you can roll one right in. It already has all the utilities, obviously, and there's also space to put a second mobile to actually make 3 cash flowing units if you wanted to do a rental. So that's what I got.
Okay.
What's your phone number, Robert? Tell
My
them.
phone number.
Yeah.
My cell phone is
Okay.
area code 616-402-1416. Yeah, I cut my Michigan phone number when I moved down here because everybody knows it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that? Comments? And it might be a good time to bring that up a little bit. Or does anybody have another deal they're ready to move on to? Okay.
What's that?
I've actually got 2 properties under contract as of right now. I've been in the field for about a month now. I took what I've learned in the past 2 months straight out and got properties under contract. They're all the way out in Utahville, Lake Marion.
People live there too.
But the first one that I went to that day was Dogwood Drive, Utahville. It's 2 parcels, 4 lots. The value of the land is the value of the land is anywhere between $180,000 to $210,000, just the land. That's all there is. There's no utilities. It's raw land. It's got a dock that extends out to the water. Santee Cooper owns most of the land behind it. but the dock itself is permitted with the land. So if anything happened to Santee Cooper land or whatever, the dock has nothing to interfere with. I went and got down there under contract for $150,000. I'm asking $180,000 for it. Like I said, it's 2 parcels, 4 lots. It's got producing fruit trees on it as well. The guy that owns it has spent the last 25 years growing 25 different types of fruit plants growing on it, anywhere between 10 foot to 25 foot tall. That one right there, I've got a bunch of pictures for it, and, information, contract, whatever you need. The other piece of property is actually right down the road from it. Down right there is 1.6, 1.7 acres. The extra point, the 7, is actually wooded at the very back of the property. I'm only counting the actual cleared land, but it is also 2 parcels, corner lot. That one right there I have under contract for $70,000. I'm asking $90,000 because the appraisal on it was $125,000. He is actually selling it to me for $90,000, and I talked to him, built a little relationship with him. He dropped it to $70,000. So that's what I have it under contract for. That one right there has actually got a trailer on it. The previous owners, he said he's been there for about 16 years. The previous owners before him got told that they were being evicted. So the day of eviction, they clogged the sinks and the tubs and toilets and over flooded the entire house. So the floor does need to be replaced. It is, if I'm not mistaken, the trailer is a 1986. He said the floor does need to be replaced, or the whole trailer can be removed. He said it's anywhere, or I was looking at researching, it's anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 to replace and refurbish. It's also got a shed in the backyard that's well built. It's got water and electricity run to it. I'm not sure what the zoning laws is there, but being 2 parcels and 1.6, 1.7 acres, I'm pretty sure you could split it and put two different houses or 2 different trailers on it and have cash flow coming in. So,
What's your asking on that one, or did you say already?
yeah, $90,000,
90.
both properties,
Yeah.
or both parcels,
Yeah.
both lots, same parcel. The other one is, or the first one I was talking about is 2 parcels, 4 lots, waterfront. The adjacent properties, the one to the right of it is the house itself as is, selling or sold for $230,000. The property on the left of it sold for $390,000. So I did my research. The property itself, just raw land, is worth the price $180,000. The property across from it, Santee Cooper took the guy that owns it died, and his wife, they had a lease with Santee Cooper. They separated the house and the property. The property itself sold for $160,000, and it's only like a quarter acre, if that. So I mean, I'm thinking these properties right here are worth it. I've talked to many different people. They say it's worth it. If you have any other information that you'd like to share with me about properties and people who I could talk to about getting the maximum information to do what I got to do with it, feel free to call me or text me or talk to me before I leave. My phone number is 843-261-4996. If you have an area of places that you would like for me to go investigate, drive for dollars, whatever, and you're interested in that area, also let me know. I have no problem talking to anybody, going around, finding the deals, working things out. I'm a great guy to get along with. I can talk about anything. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. All right.
What was your phone number again?
843-261-4996. My name is Jason Bordeaux. If you'd like to talk with me afterwards, I've got business cards as well.
And we also have like flyers of these properties already
Yes.
printed out with pictures
I have
and everything
multiple
if
flyers if anybody wants to look at them.
I'd like
Fantastic.
everybody for each.
And congratulations for getting into business. That's, you know, one thing that really differentiates whether or not the people who find the deals or not is, well, whether you're taking the action or not. And I try to stress that as much as possible. It's, and it sounds like you're doing all the right actions and saying all the right things and thinking in all the right directions. You clearly identified the meat on the bone, and it's your opinion, you know, and it sounds like a valid opinion. I'm personally not familiar with that area, but it sounds like you're doing all your homework. You understand the concept of the meat of the bone. You're not even afraid to share to the group what your personal meat on the bone was, you know. And there's some people do that, some people don't. I'm more of the camp of saying, hey, here's what my wholesale fee is, everybody. If you don't like it, don't bother calling me. You know, that kind of a thing. You might get some people that beat you up a little bit on that if you reveal what you're making sometimes, but it is what it is, you know.
Well, and we also kind of put that out there because we're willing to negotiate it as well. It's not like a hard limit.
Yeah.
And that's obviously remaining open-minded like that. That's very important. So anyway, it sounds like Jason's doing all the right things right now to me. So if y'all are really wanting some deals, leads to come your way, you know, might want to get with this guy. So
Yeah,
you know,
we'll go out there, we'll knock on doors and talk to people and get stuff signed.
yeah,
Totally fine with that.
and you know, if you want to, I'm sure you wouldn't mind working with people to go canvass a neighborhood and, you know, whatever.
And if I run out of contracts, I do have a
Printer in the car.
printer in the car.
Printer in the car.
I've got it's a fax machine printer scanner, double-sided printer in the
Wow.
car.
We do the air print right from the tablet or the
And
phone.
that's one thing I always say is I keep a folder in my car with contracts at all times.
I've got a printer I can print.
I got a folder, that's what I do. I have about 15 different types of contracts I carry with me wherever I go. How do I know, you know, I'm going to get a phone call driving down the road and someone says, I got this thing. And a lot of times you just better drop everything you're doing and go get it. Because, I mean, that's what I do for a living, so that's my job. So you might as well have all the contracts on you or have a printer. It's probably even better. You could just, you know, type it out however you want.
Yep.
But I don't even worry about that. I just scratch it. If I don't have the right contract, I just pull out a napkin or something.
That was my next thing I was going to say. I'm actually, I know y'all are familiar with Mark Weeks. I actually went and talked to him today as well. If I need any of the contracts changed in any way, I fill it out. I write it up the way I need it, or I type it up on the tablet or laptop, fax it to him, send it to him PDF,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
just have him
Well,
review it.
he reviews it, signs it, and sends it back to me. And lets me
That's
know
one
it's
way, and you'll hear our speaker tonight will have his way of handling contracts. He'll be able to tell you about that. So,
Mark Week was here last month.
yeah, Mark Weeks spoke here last month.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
okay.
saw the video.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
watched the video.
Yeah, there's actually a full-length video. We've got that up now.
Yep,
Okay,
so just
yeah.
Tri-County Investors on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna try to make that like a members only thing. But I mean, like Vincent's and Forrest are nice enough to help out. So like you can probably catch it, you know, before we kind of make it private or whatever. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, okay. So I'd like to tell you about our special speaker tonight. Some of you may know him. Some of you may not. Okay. Tonight we're talking about creative deal making and the mindset behind creative deal making. Our speaker has 30 years of experience in real estate investing, specializing in land, houses, mobile homes, timber buying, and contracts and so forth. He runs the Claws for Cause Foundation and helps out as many as 452 kids for Christmas in a year, giving toys and things to children for Christmas. He had a Wounded Warrior van, new van equipped for him donated 50 pounds of bread in one night for his organization. He's a mentor. He's helped virtually everybody in our group. Virtually everybody in our group, our speaker has mentored, and he does spend one-on-one time with people. But you know, generally you have to be. I'll let him speak on his behalf of that. But generally, you better be bringing him a deal, and he'll work with you on one-on-one. I mean, he's happy to help you. But but he's always happy to help everybody regardless. But he's especially happy to help you when you're working a deal together. And he will pay for himself ×2 by working that deal with you. The money you and he will make will more than justify it off of that. I can tell you from first-hand experience. You'll even hear about some of the deals. Okay, so anyway, okay, so he's designed products to neutralize acid rain for the auto market. That's what he did before he came into the timber business and to the real estate business. And I think that was a multi-million-dollar company. Multi-million-dollar company back in the 80s when acid rain was a big threat. It was damaging a lot of cars and things like that. Anyway, without further ado, we'll have tonight a very special guest, Mr. Santa, also known as Tommy Rogers. Yeah, we're going to get this up and running.
Oh, just a minute.
Okay, oh yeah.
That mark, that kept keep it from spitting.
Yeah. Already got my spill all over it.
No, it just sounds that way.
I'm just warming it up.
No, you weren't? Okay. All right, that's good.
All right, so we'll help you there.
Okay, well, I want to
Okay.
keep up with it. We get
Mention about the food also.
Oh, yeah.
We got food, we get food every time. I mean, just chips and cookies and drinks. I always forget to tell everybody, and then they just like have to give them, you know, someone gets a big bag of chips for free that when you eat them. So just grab them, or just raise your hand if you want, or whatever, I don't care. Yeah, you can go.
Hello? Yep. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Yeah, man. Okay. Thank y'all for coming, and I appreciate you wanting to hear about creative stuff. If you're not creative, then you're like everybody else. That make sense? I mean, everybody else is doing something on the market, but is it creative doing, or is it just what everybody else does? So if you keep on doing the same things you've been doing, you'll keep on getting the same things you've been getting. Do you want to change? Or if you're doing it real good, maybe you can share it with us. We can start doing it, and then everybody be doing that. Okay? If you want to stand out from the crowd, you got to be creative. Anybody can do traditional. Anybody. People can read tapes, or look at tapes, listen to whatever is being programmed for them to hear. A lot of, like David mentioned, a lot of people, that's what their business is. They're drawing in people every month to try to sell them something and to make money. Like David said, we don't make any money. The four of us do not take anything out of this organization. We put them in. And the way we can make money is that we can help you do deals. If you want somebody to work with you, or any of us can work together and maybe share in the profit. That way we can make a lot of money. If you get, if you'll be willing to try something new, and if you've been doing the old conventional way, then this will be new to you. In fact, people ask me, say, well, you know, how about doing something this way? I said, yeah, everybody else is doing it that way too. So how do you feel like you're going to jump out and be a little different? How are you going to get the deal? That's the idea. If you can't get a deal, you're just spinning wheels. Jesse's been out looking. Robert's been out looking. They talking about what they're doing. You got to pass out cards. You got people, let people know who you are. Answer your phone when it rings. I was getting about 50 to 75 phone calls a day. I could not answer all of them. Ain't no way. All of a sudden, I noticed that my call numbers started dropping because I wasn't returning calls. But I was up to 10 or 11 o'clock at night calling people back. Sorry to call you back so late, but you called me today. I'll call you in the morning or that type of thing, or text them. You woke me up because that machine, my text machine went off. I said, well, I didn't know you had a bell on it. I don't know that. But getting creative is exciting. I get sometimes people ask me something and I'm thinking, my God, you mean you can do it that way? Because I want to try to do it some other way. Because the person that you are buying from, remember, the person that owns the property that they are selling, chances are is the first time they've ever bought anything. And maybe the first time they've ever sold anything. And they've heard people talk, well, somebody come up here and buy it. And then they get real offended because you offer them a lower price. Nate, can I use what you told me last night? He said, Tommy said, everybody else is trying to offer lower prices. And I'm sorry, I don't mean that whistling. But he said, everybody's offering lower prices. So he said, I thought what I would do, to think creatively, he said, I'll just offer him full price. Guess who gets the first call? The person to give him the first. Hey, I'm willing to pay you full price. Well, remember, people, if you write a contract with them, the thing that you get is that you are, when you write that contract, then you have a clause in it to do due diligence. That's the part right there, is to where, and the things that you write in that contract, am I right, Mick, is to what tells you to be able to get out. I don't care what you get into, you gotta have you need a way to get out of it. If you get in, that's theirs. And you just hung out to dry, you might want to get out. So how is your legal way to get out? If you get creative and do like that, was he can get in there and he can do all his due diligence, and then he can come back, and if he had a clause in there, I don't know about the clause, but the clause could be upon my partner's approval. That's the one to get you out every time. She won't owe me the money. My wife's gonna beat me up if I buy it. You know, anything you want to use. So you got a way of getting out. Now we go on a caravan. And what we doing? We showing you houses. We showing you properties that most of the time the owner of that property is a member of our group. And that person is telling you exactly how much he paid for it. He's telling you how much he is putting into it for rehab and what his profit's going to be. Now, we want you as the person to look at it and say, okay, fine, this is my property. I'm willing to spend what he said. And you get into it, come on in. But you get into it and you realize, hey, maybe this didn't work for me, it worked for him because he was a contractor. You got to hire a contractor. So you got to figure out all those little lines. That's what we're here for, to help you. You know, and that's why we tell you, we got quite a few contractors in our group, but most of them do it for themselves. But they are willing to share the information with you. And I always like to have a group. In anything I do, if I do it by myself, I'm not by myself. I got two more partners. One of them's a CPA, and the other one's a real estate attorney. I didn't go get no divorce attorney because I can get one of them in a hurry. You know, so I'm going to get a real estate attorney. I've got one that I've been working with for 30 years. You know, and so he used to be the master equity judge. So he knew a lot more stuff too, and he and I sit down and start talking about a deal. And he said, well, how you plan on doing this one? I said, what would be conventional? Oh, wait a minute. He said, well, you tell me about what you got, you know, how you want to do it. One of those things was, and it's on that paper, now I may be jumping down on some lines, open-end deed. How many people in here have ever done an open-end deed? Or know what an open-end deed is? David, tell me what was your thoughts whenever you said, right? Is it legal?
It doesn't sound like it, but you know, no, that was the thought I had, but apparently it is, so.
Take it to my attorney, he's my partner, I'm gonna pay him. If we can close this thing, you better believe it, he's gonna help me figure out a way to do it. If we close out an open-end deed, David said, well, what about the taxes coming there, because going back to the address, no problem. We got people living in that house, right?
Yeah.
They call us up.
Yeah, we went to that house on the caravan tour.
Yep, exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's
One
where
time,
Sebastian convinced his wife he wanted to buy mobile homes, right?
Yeah.
She wouldn't think about one before, but did not believe that a mobile home could look like that because it was finished. Everybody in the caravan wanted that man's car. All right? He's a good guy, he pays us every month. And another one on there, let's see, we'll get to that. Wait a minute.
You get to that.
Okay, on conventional or either creative. You're gonna either do it conventional way or you're gonna do it creative way. I just love the challenge. Because if real estate investor ever turns into a job, this boy here's out. I'm telling you that right now, because I don't want, I think 1964 maybe, I took the last paycheck, payroll check. No, they're gonna pay me for what I'm worth and what I know and how I want to do it. I'll turn around a deal if I can't do it the way I need to do it. Because that's the way I see I can make money. They're not used to that, but a lot of real estate people can't understand that. I got three of my oldest kids are, I got 5, 3 of them are real estate agents. My son-in-law is also a real estate agent. I taught them how to do it for sale by owner houses. That's a little bit different, right? Not everybody's doing it. The man for sale by owner, he's got the sign out there for sale by owner. Go talk to him. He don't know what you know. Ain't no way. Yeah, just.
That's how I got my 2.
There you go.
Both of them are for sale by owner.
There you go.
And you
So,
just build a relationship.
Yeah, building a relationship with people. First thing most people want to go to them and say, well, how much you want for the house? Man, that's the last thing I want to know. I don't know if I want it yet enough to ask him, because he might want me to write a contract to pay him or something. You know, I want to know how I'm going to get out of it. I want to know all these kind of things. Okay, on conventional things, a lot of people use what? Somebody say, don't be quiet in here. This ain't school, you ain't got to raise your hand, just tell me. What, banks? What kind of banks are you going to talk to? How many times people told you they couldn't get the loan closed because the bank wouldn't loan the money? Am I right? The bank definitely ain't creative. No, you got to go show him. You know?
You gotta have money to borrow money from the bank.
Well, that's one thing. Yep, you also got to have credit too. Exactly right. But there's different kinds of banks, people. Just because the one that you've been putting your money in, that ain't always the one you can be borrowing money from. There's different types of banks. They got a structure that they got to go through to stay within their banking laws of that type of bank. You might go over to a savings and loan when you left your bank that turned you down. You might go to savings and loan and they'd hug you around the neck, well, bring me some more of these. Or you might be part of the military and you can go to Navy Federal Credit Union. And that's another thing. Just a conventional, a regular credit union. So there's so many places people can go get money. When I get a buyer, and I love to own and finance my own stuff. I like to sell air. Air is stuff between profit, but the profit is between what I owe and what I can get. That's air. That ain't just breathing air, that's banking air, pocket air, buying new shoes, buying groceries, buying whatever. That's what that is. And I love that kind of air. All right?
Free money. Free money, right?
Free money. That's exactly right. We'll get back to that one too, because that was a lovely thing. That was tune of about 40 grand, right? All right, a mortgage. What kind of mortgage you going to get?
FHA, VA.
Huh?
FHA, VA, or just conventional, regular old mortgage.
Conventional. Tim, what you got? There you go, Bob. Raise your hand. Yes. You called me this afternoon, and I told you somebody, because you talked about a credit score for somebody else that you were trying to help, and you wanted to know if you could get that person a loan.
Right.
That one wanted to drop the credit rate right on that. You might save more money, but hey, you can get it, right?
Yes.
That's right. So there's more than one way to go get money. Now, tell me some other ways you can go get money.
Private lenders, hard money lenders.
Private money, hard money people, soft money people. We got soft money and hard money people in our group. We got a commercial lender that starts out at $750,000. If you need any of that, he can carry it right on to 10 million, I believe he said, before he has to redo any more paperwork. But he can go further than that. But he also has a group of people with him that helps you manage that property. Our soft money lender got hired by a bank here. They got 4 or 5 officers, and they got him working each one of those because they wanted to know how to get into the investor market to be able to help them. And for them to make more money, this ain't selfish stuff. You got to make money. If you're embarrassed about the money that you make, you need to go get a job and keep one. And then you can complain that the boss ain't paying you enough. Yeah. So my wife tells me, she says, you got to bring more money home. I said, well, baby, the bank gets 5 or 10%. She said, this ain't the bank. So I do have to up the money to the cash I bring back to the house, but I don't like to hold cash. When I sold I got out of my real acid rain program, I did not sell that company. Every bottle that was in that product, I sold for $600 back in the 80s, in the 90s. A 32-ounce bottle of product, and telling them that product would do it. I sold 1 bottle, and I went back and got it from him and gave him his money back and a profit. I sold it to him by the car. Made way more money at $150 a car, and let him keep the bottle in. If they said, well, what if somebody steals it? I said, I don't care. So it's a way of doing creative marketing, creative selling, creative buying, creative anything you want to do. And it makes it so much fun. Mick's over there just laughing because he knows what him and Janice do. They do creative stuff. They know how to think out the box. That's what you got to be doing. You got to teach your bankers to think out the box. You got to show them how you can do it. You take it to them and show it to them. They don't know. They think, first time my wife heard me talking on the phone about a deal, maybe not the first time, but I know after a time or two, and she kept starting hearing some of the stuff, she said, after I hung up, she said, Tommy, is that legal? I said, yeah, baby, you better believe it. It's all legal. I ain't going to do it. Just ain't going to do it. My attorney ain't going to let me do it. You know, so it's fun. It's getting to be fun. Okay, on the mortgages, so you can go to different types of people to get mortgages and whatever. Private money people, OPM. I like to use other people's money. Why do I like to do that? I mean, it's just common sense. To me, it is. Because I like to share deals. I like to share properties. I like to share in what I do. Because once I share with somebody, help them get a deal done and make money, I promise you they'll bring me a deal back. Am I right, Norma? You know, I've done deals with a lot of people in here. But it's just so much fun to be able to do it, because when I first started and I thought about it, and I was thinking about this thing about OPM, other people's money. Man, you mean to tell me that you want me to put my money up to you, and I pay for all of it, and you get it done, and then you get half money? Or 60%? Or whatever. Something ain't right about this picture. That's the way I was thinking. Because if you don't believe in it no more than me to put up my half, your half, well, number one is I got the knowledge. He don't. Or she don't. They don't have the knowledge to do this. They talk about it. Well, you know what I heard the other day down at the drugstore? They were telling me about so-and-so. Well, you can't believe it. That's the way it happened. But that's the way it happened. So people just don't understand. And so you got to help educate them. That's why I like, if you get a person to go in with a deal with you, and he's helping you, you helping him, he's made more money than he would have made just standing out there looking through the window, just like those kids he was talking about that got the 50 pounds of bread on every Thursday night from Atlanta Bread to give away to kids. Those kids that looked through the window, they couldn't afford to buy anything in there. But they were giving it to me, and I'd call people, and they would take it out to other people. So that's another way of just sharing with people to get you to do something. Whenever you get that person that's got the money in the bank, and they get 1% interest, 2%. Oh, they're doing real good, but oh man, I did know the other day I got 2 1/4. Ooh, they do. Yeah. If I can't give you 10% on a property, on a deal, that you've loaned me all the money, and I've got it sold, and I can't give you but 10%, and I can't give you but 10%, I can do that 4 times in a year. That's cheaper than going to the bank, right? That's more money than they're going to pay you at the bank. And if you work it right, you're learning while we're doing this. So it's just so many other creative ways. And OPM, you've helped that other person. And what will they do? They'll go to church and tell other people, you can't believe what Tommy done to me for help me. I'd never dreamed you can. Number one thing, at first, you cannot give them more than 10%. If you do, they think you're a crook. Because that ain't possible. Am I right, Nick?
That's true. Yeah, you spoil them.
You spoil them, yeah. My God, you give me 20%, that's you must be under the table. You think I can turn it down on my taxes? Is the IRS coming to get me? You know, that's all the things that they're running through their mind because they don't know this. You just got to try it out on them. Show them. Make a believer out of them. Somebody asked me at church, a young lady that was with a grandma on a grandma's birthday, and I hadn't met her before, and I reached in my pocket and I gave her one of my cards. Anybody don't got one? I got some. I get 3,000 of them a year. Okay? I'm welcome. I plan to give them all out. But whenever she asked me, she said, "You mean to tell me you brought a card to church to tell?" I said, "Where else would I go? These people here trust me. They know me. They know who I am. I want to make sure they can call me. Don't have to look at the church directory. They got my card, you know." And they do call me, but I charge them a lot too. So. And they make a lot. Okay, to do creative stuff, you got to think out the box. You just You just gotta sit down and think of what a conventional way is and think of a way to do it creatively, how to get it back. How are you gonna do that creatively? You already got a person on your team. You're a real estate agent. I mean, not your real estate, you're an attorney. You said you called Mark Weeks, right?
Yes.
Mark Weeks told you what he would do, right?
Yeah.
And how to do it.
Yep.
He loves to do creative stuff too.
Yes, and just for meeting him for the first time today, it only took me not even 5 minutes to understand, hey, he's a go-getter,
Yeah.
he thinks outside the box, and if he doesn't know how to do it, he'll figure it out.
He closes people at night, not only during the day, because he's doing people at work that can't go in the daytime without taking off, making $15 an hour, $20 an hour, $100 an hour, $200, $1,000 an hour, and they can't take off work to go to closing, but they can go there at night. Mark will be there at night. Mark says he don't have a wife, he just got a dog, and that dog understands everything he's doing. He feeds him well, and he don't bother him. So think outside the box. It's back to the individual sellers, private money, IRA accounts. That's more places to get money. Susan, she is a well user of that type of stuff.
And next month is that topic, actually.
Yes, you bringing in Equity Trust, right?
Yes, May 14th, the representative from Equity Trust, the custodian for self-directed IRAs, will be here. And he's going to be a wealth of information on a little-known investment tool for retirement income.
So it's a way to avoid the taxes legally. That's creative, right? You got to think, you got to keep it away from your arm's length transaction. That's what that means. You don't touch the money. You get the money from them that you got in there, that's your money. You taking it out, and you putting it in, buying a property, you turn around and sell that property, and you worry, oh my God, how much tax I got to pay. No, you don't have to, as long as you don't touch it. Don't get close to it, send it right back to them, and all that money stays right in there. Now you got some more money to do something else with, using other people's money. Right? Okay. Private money, that's individuals. That's well where you're teaching people how to invest more. They go out, why do you think they go buy stocks? Because they want more money. Where do they buy them at mostly though? Safe stuff, low interest. Because people can't make that kind of money. Your IRA accounts, you can bring money out of them, put them back in. There's a lot of things you can't do. I'll let him tell you all about those, how you can do those. But you got to keep those arm's length transactions to use that money. And if you own something, one of our guys, David, whatever, from Bamberg, that comes to our meetings, he said that he was here and he was wanting to know, can y'all help me? I don't know. Does anybody know an attorney that can help me on something? I said, well, what is it? He said, well, I got a mobile home park. And he said, I bought 2 houses and I put it in that park and I'm putting all the money, I'm keeping that money. He said, whoa, 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 whoa. No. You got to talk to attorneys that knows real estate, knows how to invest, knows what those are. You talk to investment people. The company to where you got your money at, you ask them. They will tell you how you cannot use that money that you making. Okay? Another one's 1031 tax exchanges. That's creative. I get a little further deeper into it with that as being creative, because most people buy a 1031. If y'all know what that is, that's property of like kind, what the old word was. Am I right? Stop me if I'm wrong. But most people was taking that and they were buying, say, 50 acres of land, or 50 acres for a house, or 50 acres with 2 houses or 3 houses. Okay. Then they would turn around and they know at a period of time that they got to get rid of it. So they got to buy it somewhere else to protect that shelter of them not having to pay the taxes. So they would go out and find another piece of property, say the property values and stuff had come up to there at $70,000 now instead of $50,000, you know. And that's the one piece they'd buy. And I called up some of them that was asking me about it, said, you do any tax changes? Yep. So, well, I'll help you, but how many properties you want to buy? Well, I ain't got $75,000 in it. I said, well, you can most probably need to buy a big piece, because that's what you got in your mind. You want a big piece. Okay, so you buy the big piece, but you buy you some smaller pieces. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, because if you sell off that one big one that was all you had, then you're going to pay the taxes. If you get smaller pieces involved in it, and these guys are talking in the hundreds and the 200s and the millions, you know, if you need a little bit of money out of it, and that's what you put the money in there for, to make more money, then you can have a small piece that you can sell out of that you only pay the taxes on that. So therefore you got the other pieces left. Make sense? Getting creative at it now, boys and girls. You might want to dig a ditch in it. You don't know. The other people's money, we done discussed that. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got something they want to loan? You got something? Okay.
I missed what soft money is.
Well, soft money is in between hard money and bank money. In other words, if somebody's charging you 25% for 30 days or 60 days or 120 days. Mostly hard money is for a short period of time. Bank money is for the way you got a loan that you could be making payments on. The soft money in between that is people that loan you the money for less interest, no points, or lesser points. That's interest too, by the way, if anybody don't know, right? There's a man that loaned it, he can tell you. So you're in between that bank, soft money, hard money. That help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. Well, accept it, y'all. Being creative. You got to accept that there's a yeah, no.
So how would you, what's the difference between, is there a difference between soft money and bridge loan? I mean, is that?
Answer that for me.
Yeah, there's differences in all kinds of things. Soft
Yeah.
money can be anything from a bridge loan, well, a gap loan, basically funding like a down payment. Yeah, a lot of it depends on the term, right?
Yep.
The length of time.
Yep.
And if you're gonna pay points, you know, that's all it is. It's a very broad definition.
Help you? Good. Okay. All right. Next thing what you got to do, you done heard all that stuff? And there's a lot more. There's so much more in there. It'll take us another 2 or 3 hours just to get on 1 or 2 of those subjects. Am I right? Because it's so broad. But the next thing you got to do is pull the trigger. You know what that means, don't you? That means I got to come out of my pocket with some money. I got to make a decision. I mean, people don't like to make decisions, you know. Oh, I like to have that, but I ride by it 14 times. Well, I was going to buy that, but somebody called it. Stop by and talk to them. You got to just talk to them. Now, I don't go down to talking to them how much you want for it, get out the car. How much you want for that plate? No, I don't do that. No. You done put him on the offense already. I don't like to be on the offense, not on defense. So, it's just, you got to pull that trigger, do something.
So in other words, it's the exact same concept you're saying. Stop worrying about the what ifs. Well, what if this happens? Or what if they change their mind? Or what if I say something that's wrong and they get offended by it? Stop worrying about it. Do not worry about the what ifs.
It doesn't even really matter. You can just work through
Like,
that and learn from
and
it.
as long as, and it all boils back down to your contract. As long as you have your outs, your clauses to get out, your due diligence time, you're good. If you see a property, you like it, go for it. Go talk to them. Go make that happen. Because you never know. you could go talk to a owner and they're in desperate need of money. Their house is worth $330,000 and all they need is $30,000 to get out of whatever they're getting out, whatever they need to get out of. You just bought that property, got it under contract, and look at that, you already got, what, $175,000 in your pocket? $270,000 in your pocket because you made that deal. And especially if it's in good condition. So add on to what he's saying, don't worry about the what ifs, pull the trigger, go for it.
Yep. Get your way out and go for it. Yep. Kevin Hopkins is most probably one of the hardest people that I've ever mentored that pulled the trigger. Y'all remember Kevin? Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's in Alabama right now writing software. Huh?
If he's watching this,
Kevin! Hey, Kevin.
Send the love to him.
Yeah, it took Kevin forever to pull the trigger. And I finally had to put my finger in his chest and cock the hammer. I say, Kevin, you got to do something. He turned around and bought a piece of property. He had said, well, and I sold him the house. I did. I was trying to help him out. And it was an older house. It was a mobile home. By the way, what is a trailer? Anybody know?
Something you pull behind your truck.
That's right. You pull it behind your car. That's a trailer. A mobile home is something that people live in, right? Okay. I didn't want you to get the terminology right. Okay. David forgets. He tells me. I stay after him, brother. I don't know how he puts up with me. But whenever he did that, I told him to put that first house for $2,800. And he said, are you sure? He said, what's it cost to fix? I said, about $2 grand. He said, really? I said, yep. You ain't gonna build a monument. You're just gonna build something somebody live in. You gonna fix it up? Yeah, baby.
Better yet, it's not mobile if the wheels are not on it, you can call it manufactured home.
There you go, baby. Yep. And it also carries a title. It's cars, trains, planes, boats, whatever. By the way, what's the difference in a mobile home park and a marina?
Water.
Water. That's the only difference. Same thing. It's also an ATM that spits out cash. So get your mindset right. You know. Am I right, baby? It spits out cash. Well, Kevin went on and bought this house. He put money in it, and he was about $3,200 in it because he is a professional. And it's going to be built like close to a monument. And then he went and put a brand new central air and heating unit in this house. It did not need that. The people that was in it was really satisfied, but he wanted to do more. Okay, fine. So he's there where he's at and that kind of money. His first year, after all the money he got back of what he spent, he made $10,000 clear. That was after lot rent, the whole 9 yards. Is that okay? That's all right with me. I like that. I'll take them every day, about 40 of them. Yep. Yep. And, but he turned around and sold it after 4 years because he had several renters. He didn't own a finance or finance with an option to buy. He was no more by renting. He did okay. I ain't proud. I mean, nothing wrong. But he turned around and sold it to another member in our group for $15,000 after he done made all his other money. That guy stayed there, and he's got it for sale now, I think. He done moved again. He loves to move. They'll stay in a place about 3 years, and then they're gone. He got condos, he's got everything else, and he's got them for sale. But, so, Tom made, in the 2 years that he had it, he redone a bunch of stuff. I mean, underpinned it, he done every God thing he could think of, and he still made money. So it's not just what you see, and you can call it a trailer if you want to. That's what to me, that was the old wobbly boxes. They were built back in the beginning. I got one, 1962, Wind Zone 2. Didn't even know that they classified them back then. I give it to a lady because she bought my land. I made money. She's happy as a dead pig in the sunshine. She raised 4 girls in there and 1 son. So, I mean, and it was next door to the property I showed you. So it's, and the sale of them, people try to sell them like they're trying to sell a monument. Oh, I got to tell you how much you got to ask for it. You want $250,000 for it, or whatever. You know, you don't sell houses that way. You get what people want to know. What does most people want to know about a payment on a house? What's the first thing they want to know?
How much is it gonna be?
How much it's going to be, right? A month. And what's the next thing? What day I got to pay it? There you go. That's the way you sell it. And if you can go to the bank with them, sure. Don't send them to the bank. Take them to the bank. Nellie, Tim, Tim must went to the bathroom, but that's exactly what I told Tim today, was to take his people to Nellie. Take them there. Most people, contractors, is building big houses or whatever. They are hoping somebody will come by and buy it. If you do it right, people are going to buy it before you finish it. It's all in how you go about it. So that's getting creative as to how you're going to do that. What makes that happen? If you do get down to somebody and they come by and say, I'd like to have it, you know, say, well, you got, you know, you want to go get some credit? We're going to go, don't say that. We're going to see how much money you can buy. What you mean how much money I can buy? You mean I can pay for it? Okay, yeah. Well, I'm going to go down there and find out. I don't know what else credit scores are. I don't want to know. I want Nellie to tell me what they are. Can she get them done? So that's what you do in a lot of this. That's creative thinking. You don't, you go wait until somebody go by the, well, go get you a loan. You see them a month later. Would you go down there and talk to them? How's the loan coming along? Oh, we ain't been down there yet. Well, why not? Well, we didn't know if we had all the paperwork. We didn't know what we needed. But if you tell them and take them down there, she'll tell them. And now they've got a friendship, a relationship, and they can talk on the phone, and they can get all the information, and then you get a check. I like that. I really do. How do you get around conventional thinking, mortgages, banks, all that stuff? And why would you want to do it? Number one, to me, it's fun. I can get it done quicker than you can get it done. 90% of the time, I can get it done. Get her done. But because conventional stuff, you got to worry about all what we've just talked about, how hard it is to get it done, because they got a program and they're going to teach you how to get that done. If you go in there creatively, you're going to show them how you're going to get it done. You ask them, you know, what they need. You ask the banker, you ask the people. The mortgage people, you ask them what my people need. Did you know that you can get a Spanish loan today? If you're Spanish, you can get a loan. Got to have 4 things. And any 2 of them will get you a loan. If they got a TIN number, or if they got a Social Security number. That's one of the things they can do. If the other thing is, one of them is, if you got a paycheck stub, you can get a loan. There is a Spanish bank in Charlotte, North Carolina. And they don't deal with nobody unless they're Spanish. and their money comes from everywhere. It goes into that bank and it goes back out everywhere. So it's ways. Let's face it, we got some good Spanish people that, all different kinds of country of people that we got here. We're a diverse group. Okay, mobile homes. Buying or selling? Why would you do it conventionally, or why would you do it creatively?
I mean, can you even get a loan for?
I'm sorry?
Can you even get a conventional loan these days for mobile home?
Yes.
You can.
South State Bank. Mixed.
Bank of Walterboro will do it.
Bank of Walterboro, that's a local bank that'll do it. That's a hometown bank. Yep.
Century 20.
Or you can, if you want to get into the mortgage business, you can talk to Warren Buffett. Let me ask y'all something. One of the richest men in the world likes mobile homes, manufactured housing, modulars, whatever. Why would he get into it if it wasn't money in it? He owns factories. He bought banks. He bought Vanderbilt out, closed Washington Mutual because it wasn't making enough money. Not for what that one can make. So he bought banks, he'd buy that. You can go anywhere in this world, he bought mobile home parks. That's another thing that's out there that's profitable. And I got that on there, but I'll wait and talk about it. But the mobile home industry has come a long ways. And the mindset that people's got to have, why wouldn't you own a mobile home? What's your mindset about what they about? I mean, come on, really.
Actually,
Come on, Jesse, tell me.
Here about 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, that is what actually got me started out in real estate, was a mobile home park. She went and dropped off one of her friends. She was dropping off one of her friends. I was at the house, and she had called me. We was talking. She said, "Well, hold on, baby." She dropped her friend off at his house, and she's riding back through. She says, "Baby, this trailer park has about 800 houses in it." I just thought about this. Every trailer in here is paying anywhere between, or every mobile home. When I say trailer, I'm thinking of campers when you say trailer.
Yeah.
But
That's
mobile home.
car. Yeah.
She says, you know, these mobile homes are anywhere between $650 to $900 on a single day. They've got to pay rent. There's almost 800 mobile homes out there. You know, and that's a healthy paycheck. So, and there's one landlord that owns all of them. And
I'm like, it's one company.
Yeah, it's one company that owns all of them. So I mean, each month he's getting a hefty paycheck. So I mean, I'm sitting there thinking about it. That's what I'm working towards.
His name's Warren Buffett. Yep. No, it's true. The Yes community.
Yep.
Warren Buffett owns it.
He bought the mobile home parks.
When you're in that many, you can call it whatever you want. Or you can call it a trailer if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what actually got me started out in trying to research and looking up real estate. And
we got people in here that buy it. I'm going to 20th to Virginia. The 21st. Easter. I found out, my wife told me that I was going to be Easter on the 20th, so I can't go until the next day. But I'm going to Virginia because one of my students is buying a 350 unit mobile home park. She called me on the phone, we were talking about it, and I told her what my rule of thumb was. How much a pad. That's the thing that the house sits on. It's got the water, the sewer, and electrical hookups. Figure that out? All right. Then you got how many houses are empty, how many pads are empty, how many does the park own? All these is numbers that you put together. What condition is the roads in? Is it on sewer and water, or is it on septic tank and well? So you got, that's just a lot of things you got in there. And I told her my calculation was around 600, 500, 640 something thousand that we come down. I said, that's what that park should bring. If I were buying it, I'd buy it for that. She got it for $595. Owner finance. You know how she got the owner financing? The man, she asked a guy, would you consider owner financing this? What? The man's been making money off of it for years. Why wouldn't he keep on making money off of it? She got to spend money to fix up stuff, you know? And it's the way that you do this type of stuff. You bring them in, put them out, or whatever. And it's, so many of Robbie Seed that's in this town here that was a member here, and that was one of the mentors things. He said, Robbie Seed most probably owns what, 25 mobile home parks?
I wouldn't know.
But he's got some big money backing him now. But he started off just like we do, yeah, trying. But he's got enough money backing him that he can just go ahead and tell them that they need to leave because he's fixing to take over. But it's the thing is whether those people, the people that buy them, is whether they think they got too much money or not. Any of us might be in that same position. It's not that it's millions that we got, it's that we got what the people was wanting and we willing to give that up instead of using a negotiation tool, all your due diligence and everything else you got to do, and what they will accept, and what you're willing to put down, and how you're willing to make the payments with your part to pay what it should pay. The rest of it's left up to you. That's when you can't go home and go to sleep just because at 5 or watch TV at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, they go to work, or they find somebody that works for them that they can depend on. All right. What's the cap rate on a mobile home park versus a multifamily property? Multifamily property is about long there. Is that good money? You better believe it. We call them doors. So if you're working at a multifamily property, your cap rate's going to be along here. It's good. A good cap rate. Mobile home or mobile home park cap rate, there ain't no rough ceiling up here for it. Because there's so many things you can do with them. So many things you can add to it. And you keep, just because you got it full don't mean you stop there. Then you start turning around and taking houses, people in the houses that's got older houses, and they already making payments on one and they just about finished making payments, put them in a new one. Well, they'd be tickled to death to have it if you keep the payments close. So that's just more ways to go. There ain't no end to it. All right, if you're going to own a finance or rent or lease with the option to buy, anybody got any ideas? Want to throw out something?
What was the question?
If you're going to rent or lease or give somebody an option to buy, why would that would intrigue you? Most people want to think about, well, I'm going to rent something. Go ahead, guys, y'all want to do doing good. Okay, tell me something.
I'm just going to use my house up in Greenville that I have right now.
Okay.
I got it under seller financing.
Okay.
The owner had been renting it for many years. And he decided that he didn't want to be a landlord anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the tenant moved out. He ripped out all the floors, and then he realized, I've got too much work to put back into this house. He said, I'm going to get rid of it. I bought the house from him for $77,000. I put $3,500 down. I put $15,000 worth of work back into it already. And now I have it listed back out for sale. I have owner financing. I also have lease with option to purchase. And I also have a lease option. Just straight up lease. That's how it's listed out on the MLS right now. I've already had 6 showings since Friday because of the fact that I put lease option out there. The benefit of doing a lease option for me It's the money that they put down is because you're taking it off the market for a purchase. That money comes back into your pocket. It doesn't get held up in escrow. It comes to you. But you give the seller that credit when they decide to invoke the option to purchase. So for example, I'm selling the house for $135,900. If they write the contract and they want to lease it, they're going to lease it at $1,100 a month. But at the end of that 24 or 12 months, 24 months, however long I'm doing it, the money that they put down, I give them a credit. So now they only have to go to the bank to get $115,000 on the loan.
They've already got that money down.
They've already got the money down. I've already recovered my portion of what I put into it to fix it back up to be livable again. And on top of that, I can also go to the bank and do a refi on a cash out. So I can even put more money back into my pocket because that $135,000 is showing up as a purchase agreement between me and the buyer, although they're not going to be able to invoke it until their period is up or somewhere in between that. So there's a lot of different ways, and like Santa was saying, in your creative financing, you also apply it to your selling.
And can you sell that note from refinance?
Oh, yes.
There's
Yes.
a buyer, right, John? Two of them.
You can sell the note.
Yeah, babe.
Well, the nice thing about the upfront money on the lease option too, getting that, and they sign it and they actually enter in that contract, they break it, they don't get that money back. That happened to me
Non-refundable.
once, years and years ago, that the people got divorced and they walked away from it, and that $10,000 that they had put down securing that option, and they stayed in that lease for a year, they walked away from it. Because they were gonna enter into that agreement at that price a year prior.
The most money I have ever made off of one mobile home on a finance was over 4 years. I sold it 4 times because people walk away. And they leave their money. But they give you some lame duck excuse. Well, my husband works over there at the porch and he's got to drive back and forth every day. I said, when you started, he was doing that. You know? I said, well, you got anything else? Well, I'm trying to help them. You can lead people up, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And same thing with people. They just don't, it's just rent. Yeah, Robert?
Kind of going off what you just said, when I started back in 2010, I was up in Michigan. I have a property I bought for $8,000. I've gotten it back enough times, just the down payments I've made, not including the monthly payments that I was getting inside Food and Mouth, is $12,000. It's already paid for itself. They paid all the taxes because of seller financing. But Mickey and I have been talking about selling notes. You know, it depends on the property you get. I had another property that I bought on seller financing. That's how I got my business started in the first place. And I owed enough on it where I wasn't comfortable wrapping it with another seller financing note, so I did a lease with the option to purchase. And as soon as they broke that contract, you know, of course, you don't have to worry about getting the lease money back. I got to do it all over again. Unfortunately, the second set of people actually exercised their option, you know, about a year later, but it's the more creative you can get, the more money you make. That's the way I always look at it.
Well, the most money I ever made off of one mobile home was $195,000 in 4 years. You tell me that ain't an ATM machine? You know how much money I had in it? I paid the lady's boyfriend, who was a policeman, that got caught smoking, and they put him in jail. And she wanted to know if I'd get him out of jail. Sign the contract, sign the title, baby, and put it in my name. I went and stood for him to be able to stay, and he stayed right there. He wasn't no problem. He never run. I didn't have to pay any more. But they lived in it and paid me rent for about 6 months. Yeah. turned around and sold it, or moved it, and put it on a piece of land that I got. I built that subdivision. I put that house on that in there, and I sold it 3 more times to people. And the 4th buyer just paid me off last year. But he come up with $50,000, and I was so excited over those kids that I just could not. And the husband even went home and told his wife, "Baby, you think Santa was just so excited that we paid him off, or that we actually got the house, own the house?" She said, "I think it's because we own the house, because I don't believe he wanted the money." I'd rather have it every month. That's 8%. Yeah, that's what I look at, banking. Yeah, I become the bank. And we got people that do this, and they may have apartment complexes. Will Silver, that's our group. Nobody in those apartment complexes he had, which he sold and made real good. But none of them knew that he was the owner. Will likes to do stuff himself. He was the maintenance man. "Mr. Will, you know what them people doing? They smoking over there, and they would come over here and they would get us in trouble." So they was used to the cops coming there about 4 or 5 times a day. When Will took it over, the cops started coming whenever he called them. Yeah. So they were looking out for the business. And he finally told one here not long ago that, yeah, well, he did own it. They all paid him with deposit slips. This is getting creative, guys. Most people I wouldn't give you a deposit slip out of my checkbook if I had one. I wouldn't give you my deposit slip. So he had one made up that they only can pay the amount that their payment is. And they got to take it to the bank and make that payment. He's right on his computer. Yep, check it out last night. She hadn't paid this morning, still hadn't paid. They go to $100. Yep, I just made another 100. Late fee. Yeah. And they tell him, "So boy, I'll tell you, that boss of yours is a bad man. I'm telling you, he is rough. He's tough." So I don't know, he pays me every week. So you just don't, it's just so many different ways to do it. Robbie even actually uses the Walmart Pay. They can go to Walmart, make a payment. MoneyGrams or however they do it, I don't understand it. I got one guy that sends me one, but I still don't understand it. He's in North Dakota. You know, so it's just it's a way of doing it. I don't have to go by and pick it up. I like to go by and pick it up. I like to talk to people. That's where I get my referrals. It also makes it hard to kick them out, so that's a bad. It's good and it's bad.
And if you just happen to use the restroom at that point, you can do a walkthrough.
I'm sorry?
If you happen to have to use the restroom at that point, you get to do a walkthrough on the unit.
I always want to put in check the air conditioner filter. And the ones that got window units, I still look at them. Yeah. But it's just a way of getting in and a way of getting out.
We've got about, just to, sorry to interrupt, maybe 10 minutes, something like that.
Okay,
So
all right.
wrap it up or do questions or whatever you think.
Okay, let me get right here. We'll do one of them right here. Rent, lease, auction, buy, we just went that purchase. A purchase, no money down. Is it possible? Everybody says that they did it or that they know how to do it, but they're not sure how to do it. Right? And people say, "You mean to tell me I can buy a house with no money down?" You better believe it. Living proof. That man right yonder. He said, "They told me, how we gonna spend some of our money?" Well, we started out. You want to tell it? We started out wholesaling, got the money, got the lady to go pay the taxes. And we got it for the taxes, and what, $200?
Yeah, basically $200 out of the pocket.
Yep. We turned around and sold them over home that afternoon, that night. It was nighttime.
It was dark.
The brother wanted to buy it of the guy that did get it. and he gave us $8,000. He fixed it up. I was tickled to death for him the day we moved in. I really was. I just love to see what people can do. You know? But he said they didn't want to have to pay them lot lease. They wanted to buy the land. So the land. But the land didn't belong to us. That's another thing, whenever you go to buy something, make sure that the person that's selling you something owns it. David goes to the guy said, no, I don't want to sell it. Goes to him again, I don't know if I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to sell it. So David went to Spain. He said, whatever you do is fine with me. I said, okay. So we got landowner. I told him, he was sick, and I said, if you had some money to do all them things you want to do and what your kids wants to buy and whatever, would you be interested in selling? Well, I don't know. The people next door, they got so and so. I'm thinking, boy, I'd like that price. You know, and it got right on. And we wound up, they paying us on financing with the option to buy it. They fulfilling the option. They fulfilling the lease. They pay us. We getting 40 grand?
Somewhere in that.
So we wound up with like $48,000 off of no money down.
Basically, Santa said, I said, how much longer they got to pay us? And he said, I don't know, I'll let them know. And,
They'll let us know when it's getting time. Yeah, because I let them keep the receipt book. I do. For some of my people, I let them keep the receipt book. Because can you imagine trying to keep up with all them receipt books in my car? Man, I got right now, it's turkey season. I got my turkey decoys in there, I got my gun, I got my bag to hold my turkey calls. And if fishing time comes, I'm having my rod and reels in there. All that might get in the way. Might get some of them books lost or might get wet. But if they got the book, then they'll bring it to me and we'll sign off on it. My neighbor asked me one night, said, Tommy, said, what in the world did all them people come to your house? What is going on? I said, they come in to make payments. They come to my house to pay me. Now they want me to find them more land. Well, I'm wanting me to do a commercial piece. I said, what? Well, we got to come off the money there. All right, one way of doing stuff is everybody believes in contracts. And there's 100,000 different kind of contracts. Any attorney you go to, he'll find you another. And they're legal. What do I use? 95% of the time, I use a power of attorney. Now, how many people in here would give me the power of attorney of their property? Pat, thank you, baby. I appreciate that. Pat knows that what I will do. I can only do what you write and tell me to do in that power of attorney. What else have I given them the opportunity to do? To go ahead and sell it, because they can cancel my power of attorney at the drop of a hat. They ain't got to call me, they ain't got to do nothing. They just decide, well, I'll sell it to Joe Blow instead of us writers. But they give me the opportunity because I am legal now to go show their house. Because I am them. And I can go show their house. I don't have to be a realtor to do that. As long as I got the power of attorney. Because I am them. And according to what we write in the power of attorney is what else I can do. I can sign the contract. I can deposit the money. I can take out of mine what I need to do, as long as everything is wrote in the power of attorney. And there's several different kinds of power of attorney. And with a mobile home, it's a title. A car's got a title. A boat's got a title. A plane's got a title. A train's got a title. If you want to buy a train, it's got a title. It's got numbers.
Got one to sell.
Huh?
Got one to sell.
We can find you one. I had two fire trucks. Bought a piece of property that had a fire station on it, and it had two fire trucks in it. and it was in a foreclosure. And they said, well, wait a minute, I went to the rural fire department, and I said, look here, I said, I'm gonna start collecting rent, Bob. He said, well, what, we own everything we got. And I said, no, you don't. I got 2 nice fire trucks. One of them's got a new engine in it. Would you like to have it? Where's it at? I said, at my fire station. Did I do that to him? I told him all that stuff. You're right. I did play with his mind. I enjoyed every minute of it. But guess what I got out of it? I give it to them. But they give me a lot of stuff that I didn't have to pay taxes for. Yeah. On that tax roll, when I buy a house, the county's gonna take care of that. The county is taking care of that. Yeah, the county is gonna do that. I mean, it's just different ways of being able to do stuff. I think that's about contracts for the handshake. I do a lot of them. Because like what he said, he got to know that person. I believe that person would call him back before he made a decision. He's got the opportunity to go do it, even though he's got a contract. And the contracts are what? They'll be broken, and it might cost you to get it broke. But that's left up to you, how you want to do it. And I lost one because I didn't have a contract last year.
But you've done 100.
But it was a good thing I did. We taught them a lesson.
The point is, I kind of had a smart of him putting that in there, but the point was is everybody kind of gets caught up with what contract do I need, what kind of out clause do I need. You can get pretty far along with people without having to worry about that. And I hate to say that, it was like, the next deal you go do, you're like, oh, well, he told me not to use a contract. Well, you have to kind of know when to pull out the contract, but don't just automatically think, like, I got to pull a contract out just because I met with this person in their front yard. Like, you don't necessarily need to just go there. That's, a lot of things can be just done with an agreement, a verbal agreement, handshake, and when you keep your word with somebody, they're going to follow through with it for the most part. I don't have people back out very often, but maybe that's just because
I had one last year.
Yeah, it happens, but people are gonna back out of a contract.
They pay
They're not gonna sell you the house, they're gonna back out of a contract anyway. You can say, oh, I'm gonna call my attorney and sue you, you backed out of the contract. No, you're not. I'm not gonna pay my attorney $4,000 retainer to go chase down someone who backed out of a contract. Now, they're going to steal money and all that, it's different, but I mean, so just, don't get too wrapped up in the whole contract. Just focus on the deal and the fundamentals of the deal, and then when it's time to pull out the contract, pull it out. But you kind of have to get a good feel for when that time is. My little piece of advice, but hopefully that doesn't mess anybody up by thinking, well, he said don't ever use a contract.
No, I did not say that. And what I did lose on, it was with Nona. And it wasn't her fault, it was my fault. But the person went to church with me, she was a good lady, she was willing any God's thing in this world that we wanted to do because we were saving her life. That lady paid that other lady's house rent for her to go into another place. But because of her family, she let her kids tell her what to do. Do they know anything? She got a daughter-in-law that says she's a real estate agent, but I think she went to the office 4 times in the last 4 years. Maybe. I'm not. That's why I give her the benefit of the doubt. So but she did honor everything that we asked, right? You did not lose a dime. Just lost a little time. But that lady tells us now that she didn't make the money that she could have made if she had stayed with us.
It's, the fast nickel business slow dime. That's what happened to her.
Huh?
Fast nickel business slow dime. That's what happened to her. She,
Listen to somebody else that don't know. And they wasn't paying her bills either. They started though. They got a good education.
Does
They
anybody-
didn't know they was right bringing her checks all the time for what we were gonna do, what she was gonna do. Time loss, the whole thing.
Does
Well,
anybody-
people-
well, just, I was saying, we probably need to wrap up
Okay.
sometime, they kick us out of the room.
Well, we appreciate everybody coming. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that I didn't lead you down the wrong path or whatever. But, anybody think they got anything out of it? Thanks,